You're watching Wish TV, your local news source. Now, News 8 at 5 continues.
Now at 5:30, Wish TV is your Indiana education station. Education officials are pushing to get more money for English learners.
The state says such students are struggling to catch up from falling behind in the pandemic. News 8's Camila Fernandez learned leaders want to double that part of the budget.
Drew and Cody, according to education officials, a lot of these English learner students have not been able to return to normal rates of learning before COVID hit.
We've had an influx of English language learners, and the needs are great.
The Department of Education is asking for $100 million to provide more resources for English learners and their teachers in the next two-year budget. Right now, it has a budget of $55 million for the non-English speaking program. The Secretary of Education, Katie Jenner, says about 36% of these students are not proficient in reading and writing.
We should look at those schools that are at the rock bottom and figure out how do we infuse more resources for them to catch up and to create more of an equitable way.
According to the Department of Education, there are about 77,563 English learner students across the state. In 2017, there were about 59,102. That's an increase of more than 30%. State officials say during COVID-19, English learners in 5th through 8th grades fell behind, especially in English language arts.
We are in a crisis, and every time we talk about educational funding, we nickel and dime, even though it's half of the state budget, to the point that some public officials publicly say we need to push the envelope just a little. And the first thought that comes to their mind is reducing funding for education.
When students were at home learning virtually, there's a level of support that's needed in the home. And when families don't speak English and they're not able to provide that level of support, the gap is that much wider for students whose primary language was not English.
Jenner says she is open to ideas to bring change.
We're a humble crew. If there are things that we're missing, we're always willing to attack that based on ideas that come from local communities.
The Department of Education says it also wants to rename the non-English speaking program to Indiana English Support Program. Camila Fernandez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.